Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those bad boys together, because, guys, they're using the same tricks against both things, and we're going to fix both of them. That's why we backhand tyranny on the daily here on this channel. So make sure, if you're down with that mission, you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because we have got some freedom to distribute, and this train is leaving the station. All right, guys, listen. What we are about to talk about is something that I love to see. There's been this new reinvigoration in our culture in the gun advocate side, where it's kind of like an F you know vibe, but also like calling your bluff kind of thing. Because what we're about to cover is the gun companies, like the big gun manufacturers, literally looking at the Mexico lawsuit and just kind of chuckling. This is what I need to see. I need to see more of this energy. This is that big 2A energy, if you know what I'm saying. Let's get right into it. Guys, all of this stuff is on my X account. Follow me at Braden LOA. We are almost at 10,000 followers, thanks to you guys. And there currently is a fight going on between is the NRA useless or not in the comments. So make sure you jump over here and add your piece of opinion to that fight. All right, let's get it. So check this out. When we start to see mainline news, conservative side of the aisle talking about things we've been talking about for 3 years in the positive for gun rights, you're making headway. And that's the entire point. I'm about to show you a excerpt from this weekend of Fox News Sunday, where we were openly covering this with the lead counsel or the SVP of NSSF on Fox News. Again, I'm saying this type of exposure means your energy and your drive is making its way into the mainstream. There's a reason that the words abolish the ATF are a lot more mainstream than they were about 3 years ago. It's because of y'all. Then I'm going to show you an article that backs the whole point up. Enough of the intro. Let's get into this. We have got some freedom to distribute. Check it out.
This week, by the way, a novel case lands at the Supreme Court. Mexico is suing several U.S.-based gun manufacturers, saying they are to blame for growing violence south of the border. The companies say they produce a lawful product and they're not responsible for Mexico's crime crisis.
Keep in mind, we've been covering this for 3 years.
Smith & Wesson, Beretta, Colts, Glock, all among the defendants in a $10 billion lawsuit filed by Mexico, alleging these U.S. companies knowingly allowed guns to end up in the hands of dangerous cartel members in Mexico, who then use them to terrorize and kill. Larry Keane is Senior Vice President and General Counsel for the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
All right, so we're going to pause it really quickly because, again, I really want to highlight this point, and this is a very important point of what you're doing and how it's working. Everything that you just saw in that 40-second snippet, we've covered in detail on this channel for 3 years. All of it. Now, they didn't go into Jonathan Lowy, who runs the entire thing through Mexico, who used to be an every town for gun safety lawyer, who stepped out of the United States and then utilized the government of Mexico to sue us and our manufacturers. They didn't go that deep, but we have. The point is, this information is all going mainstream. Fox News caters to the general, broad-based, conservative demographic. This is the people who are not 100% going and looking for the 2A stuff, but if it's presented to them, they go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Guys, you are making this happen. All right, let's keep going.
You know what Mexico says? There were notifications that there were entities that were letting these distributors, letting these manufacturers know this is where your weapons are ending up, that they had some form of notice.
Generalized foreseeability does not give rise. It's not proximate cause. There's no legal duty. Baseball bat manufacturers know that some of their products will be misused in assaults. Knife manufacturers know that some of their products will be misused to stab people. That doesn't give rise to liability.
But what?
Now, it's important because you have to understand the guy you just saw talking put forward really good arguments. He's the head of the NSSF, which represents all the gun manufacturers through different organizations. It's not like legal counsel, but it's definitely a professional relationship. He also is the guy who got PLCAA written and signed by George Bush, the Protection of Unlawful Commerce and Arms Act, which is going to make this entire thing go away at the SCOTUS. So just so you know, all the players and all the high-level stuff, that's what we're dealing with. All right, let's keep going.
What happens if the U.S. Supreme Court, after hearing arguments next week, allows Mexico to pursue a legal remedy in the U.S. court system? Gun rights advocates like Keane are worried.
It would mean the destruction of the Second Amendment in the United States. It would bankrupt the industry.
Congress passed the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act in 2005 to prevent gun companies from being held liable for misuse of their products. But Mexico argues the law, quote, provides no protection for businesses engaged in unlawful commerce in arms.
Okay, I'm going to leave that up there for a second. Unlawful commerce in arms means they willingly and acknowledge the fact that they went and sold guns to cartels directly. Come on.
And alleges that's what the manufacturers have been doing. By selling to dealers, Mexico claims the manufacturers knew were preferred by the cartels. A group of blue state attorneys general is backing Mexico.
Shocking.
Saying the law is meant only to shield blameless manufacturers and sellers, but that it doesn't equate to blanket absolute immunity against any and all liability. But another coalition led by Republican Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen argues it isn't the manufacturer's fault that gun crime is raging out of control in Mexico and points the finger elsewhere.
This is happening primarily because we provide a lot of firearms to the Mexican government, to the Mexican army, and a lot of those guns go missing and end up in the cartel's hands.
Oops. Here's the thing, and by the way, I've met him. He really is exactly what you see. He's an awesome dude. All right. He was at the GOA booth when I was there at SHOT Show. Legitimately, what you're looking at is an ideological fight from the left to the right. Knudsen is leading people on the right against the stupidity. Gun controllers like Bonta in California are leading the AGs for the gun control side of things, and Mexico is being used as a pawn by an Every Time for Gun Safety guy. That's the state of play here. Okay, now let me just show you a few of the points from this article, and everything's always linked, by the way. This is written by the same guy, Larry Keane. Trump designating cartels terrorists isn't worrisome to the lawful U.S. gun manufacturers. Remember how the president of Mexico said she was going to basically say, okay, the United States government is also going to be implicit and all those different things? Yeah. Okay, well, let's just run through a few points here of who the players are making this into a thing, okay? This is from Bloomberg. Opinion columnist Juan Pablo Spinetto labeled the decision worrying while attempting to argue against the president's move. Keep in mind, it's worrying from Bloomberg to name drug cartels as terrorist organizations. That's worrying. Why is it worrying? Let's continue. Again, they're grabbing at straws, guys. While describing to readers why, in his determination, President Trump's move forward to label Mexican narco-terrorist drug cartels as international terrorist organizations would be worrisome, Spinetto takes a uninformed and bogus potshot at the lawful and highly regulated U.S. firearm industry. The proposal to treat cartels as terrorists adds significant collateral risks. Anyone who has contact with narcos, knowingly or not, could be accused of collaborating with terrorists, from avocado producers in Michoacan that pay to stay alive in the U.S. gun industry that have been selling arms to criminals, Spinetto writes. The assertion that U.S. firearm manufacturers sell arms to criminals is a flat-out lie. And this is where I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to leave it right there so you guys can be involved in this conversation too. You have to understand that all this hullabaloo about gun manufacturers willingly and knowingly selling to cartels completely ignores the fact that the ATF is involved and the FBI is involved and all the gun control on the books is involved. So every single gun in the United States has a serial number, is tracked from manufacturer to distributor to end seller or retailer and then to the individual. And that is the point where it's supposed to stop. But like legitimately, where in there is ATF and FBI if they're going directly to the cartels? Because this entire thing is a game. They don't want to tell you that, but we sure as heck will. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.